Rising costs are still a thing for small businesses, and really shouldn't expect that to change anytime soon. As I've been going around talking with my clients as well as other business professionals here in West Michigan, costs have not gone down, and if anything, they are continuing to stay high, elevated, but also we're back into the 2021-2022 version of price hike whack-a-mole, right? So, hey, all right, we just had to buy this and the price is up 20%, but last month, but this other item hasn't gone up since in 3 months, so that's cool. Oh, wait, crap, now it's actually gone up again. You see it in the restaurant world where your protein prices are just insane, and then paper products will go up by 30% for no reason whatsoever. You'll just see that upgrade. Now, again, the suppliers will tell you there's a reason and they'll give all of this usual excuses, but that's just what we're dealing with here. One of the issues that we see consistently here is you go out, let's say you're going out for a meal, you're going out into a store, and we know prices are high, they're not getting any lower. But it's that question of like, well, why do they keep going up, right? Now, some folks can say, well, because of tariffs. The data shows that those prices are not getting passed on through tariffs right now. I would expect that to change. So where are all these price increases coming from? Honestly, I think it's just out of necessity with labor costs that people may or may not have fully absorbed. Now we're at the point, well, hey, they're absorbing them. They've got to show up somewhere. Where, when it comes to the products and services you need to buy, utility prices are up. I mean, we can just go down the laundry list here of, hey, here's the reason that prices are going up for people who actually create and deliver, create products and deliver services. All the ancillary costs that they have and input prices have continued to go up. So what's there to do about it? Again, my name is Ryan Howe. I'm a business coach who works out of West Michigan and around the country. I come here on YouTube and just share some of the conversations I'm having with my clients, and I hope to earn your subscription. So what am I talking about with my clients? And this comes up so much right now with the prices that we're trying to find that balance between, hey, we still got to make a profit, right? Got to keep the business doing what it needs to be doing, and not overcharging, lack of a better phrase, for our customers, our clients. But let me give you, here's the example I want to give. So I have a construction client right now. I have a construction client and they home repairs, remodels, decks, roofing, stuff like that. Because they do not know when and where these price increases are going to happen, because they have to quote work out 4-6 months in advance, and they have no idea where the prices are going to go. They're forced to do their markups at a higher than they normally would, and that's pushing the prices up for anybody who wants to get any work done. Well, guess what's happening? Everyone's having to do this. So whether or not the prices have actually gone up at a reasonable amount of inflation, whatever that means, it doesn't matter, because business owners are having to plan for these price increases, whether they're happening or not. So it is a self-fulfilling prophecy that all of these prices are going up and they're dealing with. So does that mean that inflation isn't real? No, it's very real, especially for those of us that are having to buy these, these products and services, that folks are forced to make, pricing decisions 4 to 6 months in the future in a world you have no idea what the prices are going to be. So yeah, inflation, while it's artificial, it's not a supply and demand piece, it's still real. So with that, how much of your daily products that you guys, let's say we go to the grocery store, how many of the products that you've currently purchased are priced in a way that doesn't reflect the actual costs being incurred by the, that producer? Rather, they're being a reflection of predictions and forecasts and where the prices might be in order for them to still make a profit. And from everything I'm seeing, and this is just anecdotal, mind you, minus the things that, are regulated per se, like again, eggs as an example. Eggs are down, the eggs are down 55% from January. So they've leveled back off to kind of where they were before the huge egg inflation, right? But let's go with eggs. They had people who are producing, products that have egg in them or egg byproducts. They did all of their buying back in January, right? January, February timeframe for production now. So those prices that are still high then are being reflected in our goods and services now, even though the prices are 50% of what they were. Does that make sense? So when I'm talking with my clients, we're literally having to make that, make that decision. We don't want to like just charge people a bunch of money to charge them a bunch of money to make a bunch of money. That's not what my clients do. We're small and medium-sized businesses. We live and work here in, West Michigan out here. I know you can't see a lot of them folks here, but our neighbors are all here. So we don't want to, we're not trying to, squeeze every last bit of, water out of that stone, right? So what are we talking about? Well, when we're having our discussions, it is an actual risk analysis. I have spreadsheets that I use, and there's calculations that we use to figure out here's the highest that we could possibly mark this thing up and still be able to get the sale. Here's the lowest, and we're really taking a risk. If we do get it, we could either break even or possibly just lose money on, on this job or where the work is right for this order. And then there's that middle piece, right? There's a gradient in between. And that's, most folks do that, right? Right, you got your 3 layers. But in the standard practice that people have, they're gonna find a gradient and then they're gonna push towards the bottom, right? Because they wanna get the bid, they wanna actually win the contract. Well, what's ended up happening here is we're having to make decisions to push stuff up for a couple reasons. One, obviously for the price forecasting piece, but the other is that for whatever reason, demand is still there. It's really high for a lot of goods and services that are out there, and there aren't enough people to do the work in this area. So in an area that really can't afford high prices for anything, rural Michigan here, the input costs for products and services continue to go up for forecasting reasons. And because of supply constraint on manpower, right, those prices are going up as well too. Because who else is gonna do it, right? There's a very limited number of folks. I have a friend of mine, he pours concrete, that's what he does. He is booked out for the remainder of the year and into next year already for the jobs that he has. But here's the problem, right? So that's so there's that. Here's the 2 problems along with that. Everyone else I know that's in concrete, they're suffering through the same issue. They have the same problem, right? That they're all booked out for, 6, 8, 9 months at this point. Normally that's not a problem, but here's the issue. This is the part where folks who don't understand necessarily the industries or what these businesses are like need to understand. There's only so many concrete plants in the country, in this area. They have a certain volume of throughput that they can get. So even if these contractors are all booked out, right, and they've got a schedule, and they've got the manpower to deliver this, guess what? There's only so much concrete available on a given day, week, month that can be produced and delivered to the job sites in line with what needs to be done. So what does that do? Right? It's the same thing. In order to get the concrete that you need when you need it for your time, you think you're paying less or more, right? You're paying more. Now take that and add that to every single industry that's going on. Services for sure, but take it for anybody in manufacturing, any sort of production going on. The same stuff's happening, guys. So how do we get out of this? That's probably the best question that I've had anybody ask me. Folks, it's just gonna take time. Like, that's really what it is. We're gonna be in this area, we're gonna be in this world of higher inflation for longer, higher interest rates for longer, simply because we have demand out there, but there's also just a ton of money out in the system. It's got to get digested and worked through. There's a ton of people that want to get work done, right? There's been homes that people have. They have not kept them updated. They're moving into new areas and new homes and things like that. They want to get those updated. All of these things that they want to get done, there just isn't enough people and there isn't enough product. Okay, so that's really where we're at, folks. That is what's causing all of these prices. There's no magic bullet. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care if you are left-leaning, right-leaning, Democrat, Republican, if you're in the northern part of the states, the southern, western, east coast, doesn't matter. We all have to get through the exact same thing here, and we're all going to be stuck with the exact same problem. We all have a bunch of stuff we want to get done. There are not enough people in the services or production to get it done. there's not enough materials to be able to get things done we want. So that means all of our prices are going to remain elevated for the foreseeable future. Okay, sorry, got mosquitoes coming after me. So when I'm talking to my clients, that is really all we're talking about when it comes to their pricing strategy. We've got to live up here, but every day we're asking questions. How can we possibly lower our prices down so that, one, we can get more work, but two, so we're not having to have people pay these large numbers, these large sums in order to get anything done, okay? So that's it. Appreciate everybody who hung out this long. Hopefully I earned your subscription today. Take care. We'll see you next time.